Protest over pollution levels in the national capital took a stark turn when protesters showed up with posters of top Naxal commander Madhvi Hidma, who was killed recently in an encounter with the forces in Andhra Pradesh. In the visuals, one can clearly see between a pile of posters raising the toxic air crisis in the national capital, what made appearance were also posters glorifying Naxal commander. While the posters did spark tensions, what further escalated the issue was an attempt to block traffic without permission on these roads and alleged use of pepper or chili spray by the protesters against police officials. So pro-Naxal slogans were raised at this protest site, which was supposedly about pollution. Long live Madhvi Hidma, Comrade Hidma Amar Rahe. How many Hidmas will you kill? A Hidma will emerge from every house. These are the same kind of slogans that have been raised eulogizing terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. Birsa Munda to Madhvi Hidma, struggle of forests will go on, so on and so forth. Now, the police says protesters refused to move to Jantar Mantar for the stir, and that's when the situation escalated. Protesters clashed with police during the agitation. Posters of Madhvi Hidma somehow were spotted at the protest. Police say that protesters came armed with pepper or chili spray, and it was used on the personnel deployed. So far, 22 people have been arrested for attacking the police. An FIR has been registered. An investigation is underway into how these Hidma posters entered the protest site. But is this proof of the urban Naxals that even the Prime Minister has talked about this time around? That debate is coming up. Charu Pragya of the BJP continues with us. Professor Dinesh Vashni, leader of the CPI-2. Colonel Rohit Dev, defense expert, is joining us. Dinesh Vashni, I want to begin with you. This is a protest about pollution, but look at how these Naxal sympathizers hijacked this issue. And is it fair for them to eulogize somebody like a Madhvi Hidma or all of these Naxals who are guilty of ambushes, brutal attacks on our security officials? Till how long are we going to pretend that this is about human rights or grassroots government, as they claim?
Look, Shivani, as a matter of principle, the Communist Party of India, we since very beginning have a difference of opinion with the Naxal mode of operations. We don't agree with the Naxalite mode of operations politically, but at the same time we are of the opinion the fight for the Jal Jungle and Zameen must be there. The government of India and the local police says that he has been killed in encounter, or he has been killed otherwise, but as the people there, thousands of people who were there in his cremation, have alleged that he was going to surrender, he was picked up and murdered. So there are two versions, we have to inform it. As far as pollution in the city is concerned, Delhi do not have only double engine government of the BJP. Delhi has a 4-engine government of the BJP in Delhi. The Delhi government, central government, Municipal Corporation of Delhi, even the Cantonment Board. All of them are in the hands of the BJP, and AQI is reaching up to 700. They are making again a fraud. Water sprinklers are running around all the 39 centers of the AQI monitors, and they have been done like this. So this is absolutely fraud. The BJP government is not only making a fraud on AQI issue, it is also making a fraud of economic latifundia. You know, in Europe there was a feudalism. In Italy it was called latifundia. The government land or the people land been mortgaged to the capitalists or the feudal lords on the throwaway prices. 3,000 acres of land of ₹1 to the Adani. What is the meaning of this? 3,000 of acres of land in West Bengal in one of the districts are again given to the Adani. Entire public land is handed over to the resources of the Jal Jungle and Zameen. You know how much it is earning to the tribal land people? Over 1,50,000 crore rupees business of the Jal Jungle and Zameen. This is how they wanted to capture the land. They wanted to capture the poor man resources without giving any facilities to them.
So grassroots agitations are more than welcome.
Have a single cow vigilante has been encountered? No. No. What is the economic terrorism? You theka do, paisa lo.
Okay.
Supreme Court has established.
Sir, my question is only this. When the BJP or even the Prime Minister now, recently the Prime Minister, I want to remind our viewers, even called the Congress party a Muslim League Maoist party. It was a direct attack on this mentality that shields those who attack the country, whether it is internal threats or external threats. But Professor Vashni, surely you will not have a problem by everything you're espousing, grassroots movements welcome, tribal rights welcome, but surely you would not be offended then if the term urban Naxals is used, because people are offended. Charu Pragya, when these individuals are called quote-unquote urban Naxals.
Bunkum. This term is bunkum.
How is it bunkum if they come out on the streets in a pollution protest and talk about Naxals? How are they not urban Naxals? Why is it derogatory to be called urban Naxal then?
Tell me if 3,100 acres
Charu, I'm
of
coming to you
land
next,
trees
yes.
are abolished, 10 lakh trees will be cut in Bihar. Will not it affect the AQ of the Bihar cities? Or it will not affect the AQ of the entire area?
Are you linking?
What are you talking?
Okay. These protesters were not saying that.
More than 40 lakh trees will be in three pieces of land handed over to Adani. It will reach to every city.
But they were protesting the Delhi's pollution and toxic air. Why are they not protesting in Bihar or Jharkhand or in forests or on those lands then? Why are they infiltrating the pollution protest?
Okay,
let Charu Pragya come in. Charu Pragya.
No.
Has urban Naxal phenomenon been proved again?
Have gone to the jungle and to protest.
Professor sir, 1 second. Let Charu Pragya come in.
Professor sir, please let me speak and do not speak in between. Now, environmental protests are very welcome, Shivani. We are all living in Delhi. We are all breathing this air. In fact, areas around Delhi are also affected. Absolutely. You have a point to raise with the government of the day. Do that. Peacefully protest. Do that. But what are these Maoist slogans, anti-India slogans, doing at a protest site like this? These were not environmental people. These were not environmental activists. They were people who have been carrying a note straight from the Urban Naxal handbook. The slogans they were raising were actually praising people who are anti-India. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hidma now. Dinesh ji, I am taking grave offense at you screaming left, right and centre in the middle of every argument you're trying to make. You are very aged.
Can the director hear me? Can we please have Charu's audio only?
Hold your tongue and wait for your time to speak. Please put the fader down. Please put the fader down. Dinesh ji, please behave better. You're too senior for us to talk like this to you. So Hidma is a person who was enlisted as a child cadre when he was a child himself. And this person has been involved in various attacks on our armed personnel time and time again, Shivani. He's a part of the People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. There was an attack in Tedmata, 76 security personnel were killed thanks to this person. In Minpa attack, 17 security persons were killed. In Sukma, 37 CRPF Jawans were killed. And the person who was involved in all of these attacks is this person, Hidma.
But how did it happen under your nose? The Delhi police reports to the BJP government. Exactly. You have a BJP government in the center, BJP government at the state now. MCD is not technically under your control. That was one error that Dinesh Vashni made. But how did it happen under your nose?
It is happening around us because of people like Dinesh ji who are actually fanning the sentiment. So whether it is Hidma today or a person like Umair Khalid, what is the sentiment? The sentiment is anti-India. The sentiment is anti-establishment. The sentiment is anti-government. This is not about a protest. This is about a seed being sown in the minds of our young who come on the pretext of talking about the environment or the quality of air in our capital. And what do they turn it into? What do they turn it into? And who is the person they are hailing? He is a certified terrorist who was shot down in an encounter.
Okay.
So you are actually praising a terrorist in the capital of your country, and we have people like Dinesh ji coming here and finding ways to defend it.
The problem is that's the same slogans.
Like, how pathetic can the situation be?
The slogans, if you look at the nomenclature of the slogans, Colonel Dev, these are the slogans that were raised for Burhan Wani, right? Only the name has changed. And we all know how long it has taken possibly to prove without any doubt that, what is happening in Kashmir has nothing to do with so-called struggle because of excesses, etc. It is all a paid program of Pakistan. Plus, there are those within our territory who also espouse to that view. They want to keep this industry going. How to deal with this? Is it best to just ignore what some of these protesters, young people try to do in the national capital, or do you think the law should come down on them like a ton of bricks?
See, Shivani, a few aspects, and just hear me out, everybody, and including Professor Vashni, and bear me out as well when I say this. There are layers of what's happening against our country. And there's a term which, unfortunately, I coined a couple of decades ago, It is called intellectual terrorism. Intellectual terrorism actually covers the entire broad scope of economic and military and other actions as well. And today, unfortunately, in India, it includes many in polity, many in bureaucracy, and many in various walks of life who actually get paid. It is so fashionable. You just see these students over there on the streets in Delhi. What's their age? What's their vocation? What are they supposed to do? So it's very easy today in India to protest in this manner, to belittle India. So not only getting admission into a top university, by belittling your country has been happening for the last 2 decades. But today, there is a case that if you talk against your country, against your government, against the processes, against the law, you go to earn a lot of money. And I'll give you a very stark example. Shivani, you are a nationalist. You talk and voice for India. You will only earn your pay. But if you are a journalist who's willing to cross that line, you will earn millions of dollars in your bank account on an annual basis. That is the current state and sad state. But coming to this protest per se, this entire action which you saw manifests from a pre-planned, premeditated kind of an activity where the students have been, I will not say radicalized or brainwashed only. There is a lot of money floating against our country. You heard the professor right now. I didn't count it properly. You can rewind and see. I think 3 or 4 times he mentioned the word Adani Group. And that is happening because the apostles of anti-India cabal, they are very much focused to bring down and hit us economically, because when you are surging economically, looking at a developed nation in 2047, everybody, including some friends, will stab us in the back by promoting, by financing, and by also trying to do the perception management against our country. And that is why when Elon Musk has made the locations viably known to everybody across the world, today you are finding that the hardcore right MAGA emanates more from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Turkey, and Nigeria. And they are trying to sow seeds of discord between two sovereign nations, two larger democracies, the oldest and the largest. And that is how the narratives are created.
No, but the issue here is this, that we are a free country, permissions issue notwithstanding, and of course that criminal act, if it is true that chili powder was used against police officials notwithstanding, should we have a problem if some youngsters come in and say they want to hail Hidma, or should this be outlawed?
No, I have a problem with that. I have a problem because enemy of the state is my enemy. It's not the other way around. It's not my personal choice. I choose an enemy. But enemy of the state is my enemy. And enemy of a state cannot be glorified. A terrorist cannot be glorified. And if you want to have a legal thing around it, you are more than welcome, because, Bharat Nagarik Sahita today manages that for you. But you cannot. And there are no, groups to say that they are fighting for land, Jan, and whatever he said before. That's not the way to fight. This is not a lawless country.
No, he did say that they don't agree with the Maoist way of fighting the Indian state.
I may not agree with 15 things with the government of India, right?
But you will not take up arms.
But there is a way to talk about it,
so,
debate about
question
it, go legally about it.
The question that keeps coming up when such instances happen is whether India is a soft state. In India, you can come and do this. You can hail a Burhan Wani, you can hail a Hidma, with no morality of how many people these people have killed.
Just one sentence, and you are coming to the crux of it. Unfortunately, we have been bled this way for decades now on, by trying to not only fantasize and glorify, but supporting this mechanism.
Okay.
And I dare say, it's the regional powers, especially along the border states of India, which have propagated this kind of an activity. And unfortunately, it is Delhi which is bearing the brunt today.
Okay.
It bore the brunt during the farmers' protest as well. And a lot of actions have taken place against the interest of this country. If politically this current government is going to show the prowess and nip it in the bud today, I'm saying it is the time now.
Time is now. Okay. Professor Vashni, I want to give you your minute. One second. Sir, don't speak like this. You won't be audible. I want to give you your minute. The romanticism over red terror. Don't you think left parties like yourself should also now shun this? This hasn't proved to be beneficial, fruitful to anyone, including those tribals that you claim to represent, or they claim to represent. And the public at large is not buying this romanticism anymore. Time to move on. Dinesh Vashni.
Shivani, first of all, let me protest on behalf of my party as well as on behalf of the India Alliance of a statement of Colonel Rohit Dev, who said that Kisan movement is also like that. I strongly protect
I
and
did not
object to
say
that. He looks to
Don't
me a
put
BJP
words
agent.
in my mouth.
Number
Can I
no,
tell
please.
you to-
What
Can
are
I
you talking about?
Delhi
What are
was
you talking
under
about?
siege.
Theka do, paisa
Wait.
do. Why
Don't
don't
try
you
to
talk
be
about
sound
this is
intellectual.
India? Why don't you talk
Don't
about
try to sound
3,100
intellectual,
acres of land
Professor
given in rupee
Vashne.
1?
Okay, one
Why
by
don't
one.
you
Then.
think
Rohit
this
Dev,
thing?
please let him
This
have
is
his
not
word.
India.
Okay, let him
What have
speak,
you
but I
been
want to
taught to
clarify
you
this, Shivani.
NDA and IMA? You are going against that philosophy. You are going
Don't
against
teach
that
me.
philosophy.
I am not
what
your
has been
pupil.
taught to you in India?
I am not
But
from
sir,
CPIM.
Don't teach me. I know the
romanticizing
professor.
terror,
No,
quote
I know
unquote.
your
Sir,
syllabus.
can I just
I
bring
know
you back
your
to the
syllabus.
question I asked you? Romanticizing of terror, red terror
Can I come in,
or
please?
Islamist terror, romanticizing of this quote
We
unquote
don't
perennial
romanticize-
struggle
we
against
don't
the Indian
romanticize
state.
any
This needs to
terror.
end.
No, Shivani, in the very beginning I gave a statement that we don't agree politically or organizationally with the mode of operations of the Naxalites. We
But you
oppose
give
to that.
intellectual
That is why
cover,
we
sir.
want
That's the
many
allegation.
CPI leaders have been attacked by the Naxals and the Congress leader. Never ever the BJP leader has been attacked by the Naxals. Many of the Naxals have joined the BJP later on. And they
Okay.
have given the tickets to the criminals. They have given the
I have limited time, 30 seconds left, so I'll give that to Charu Pragya.
Can I come
Charu,
in, please?
is India a soft state? Because this keeps happening. Not really much happened to those who come out in the janazas of terrorists in India.
Yeah, so Shivani, I think India is a rising state and India's influence in the world is rising, and that is why India remains under attack a lot of the times with the help from India's enemy nations. And I agree with everything that Colonel Dev was saying. He is absolutely correct, and I'll give you one more example. It's not just about the brainwashed youngsters today who are hailing a terrorist who has got down dozens and dozens of our security personnel and CRPF Jawans, but also the whole disinformation campaign that has been funded by anti-India forces. And I'll tell you why Elon Musk has made everything more transparent on X. It is not just to benefit India. It is because China ran a grey zone disinformation campaign against the Rafale to promote its own
Fair enough.
J-35. This
No,
is
but those
all
are
in their
challenges
dossiers.
we know.
And who
These
picked
are
all this
still
up? It was
Indian
picked up.
citizens who are coming out and let's say they're doing the sloganeering they're doing. The larger
Indian
question that
citizens
still
who are-
maintains
yes,
is
and
what
they are
should be
falling
Indian
prey
state's
to the
response to
whole
this?
same thing.
Shivani,
Okay.
just 2 sentences.
Sir, I'm completely out of time. I'll give you 10 seconds only.
10 seconds. A, the Indian state should take action as per law and hit them hard. B, the motto of our country has been Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.
So
I
hard
never
that
mentioned
nobody
about
dares to put
farmers.
the second.
I mentioned about the intellectual terrorists and the funding
Okay.
agencies behind that protest.
The
And Mr. Vashne will
intellectualization
do it.
and
Absolutely.
the rationalization
It was not
of
about the
terror
farmers'
and
protest. It
fight
was the
or
way it was
struggle
funded
by the
and where
barrel of the
intellectual
gun. I
terrorists
think India needs to move on from that, and many youngsters show us that they have moved on from